goes back to when I was 12 years old, going to the Boundary Waters in northern Minnesota for the first time. That wilderness, that large expansive wilderness, really allowed me to sink in and feel like I was a part of a larger landscape.
All through childhood, my family canned fruits, and we had our favorite elderberry swamp where the whole family went down and gathered elderberries. We had wetlands all around our place, and as kids, when the snow would melt, we'd go out and build little rafts and float around in the wetlands in the spring snow belt, and you learn not to fall in the ice water.
I grew up in a big city, so it was practically a concrete jungle, but I was so blessed in my home. We have a garden where I was able to plant trees together with my family, take care of the plants and even the insects there. So that was a great memory for me growing up. So for me, when I see in nature the design and the purpose, that sparks joy in me, gives me meaning in my own life. And I think it feels good to be a part of that.
When I'm feeling sad, I think I need a lot of time to myself to heal. I need other people to step back, and I think we should afford nature the same thing to grow and heal, but alongside of it too.
I grew up in Iowa City and kind of a city girl, but definitely a tomboy. So most of my time was spent in Ralston Creek and just exploring that area, creating naturescapes, building little dams with sticks, finding frogs and tadpoles. And I think that was a really memorable way to live my childhood. All my favorite memories have to do with being outside. Because of climate change, we're living in a really critical point right now. We must work hard to conserve our natural areas.
I'm Ben Dillon. I live in Iowa City. I'm the current board president for the Bur Oak Land Trust. I think we have a particular challenge when it comes to conservation in Iowa. We just don't have that many natural spaces that people can go out and engage with. So much of it's been turned into farmland or other productive uses, but we just don't have those places to escape to nature in Iowa. And so there's this unique conservation challenge for Bur Oak and for other organizations operating in this space in Iowa to make sure that we're protecting what little land is left.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Iowa is that we have one of the most altered landscapes in the entire country. This landscape that we live on used to have thousands of species that would live on all of the acres, and unfortunately now many of them are gone and many more are actually heading that way. So we need to act now. We need to be able to protect and conserve the landscape that still exists in Iowa and actually get to the point where we're able to restore some of the altered landscape back to what it once used to be. We have taken a landscape that was full of thousands of different species that existed in prairies, in woodlands, in wetlands of Iowa, and we've removed most of those species because the habitat has been lost. Right now, we have mostly in Iowa corn and soybeans. Those are the two species that are existing on over 70% of the landscape in Iowa. Where thousands of species once stood, we now have two.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Sand, your state auditor. We can't learn what nature has to offer us unless we can go experience nature. You can read about it, it's not the same. Watch a movie about it, it's not the same. It's getting out into nature and into the woods that really gives us the opportunity to connect and experience what it really means for all of us and how it can improve our lives.
If you look outside, it's not the same as being outside.
The whole deal with nature is that we are really part of it. I mean, we make believe we're isolated from it and we box ourselves up in these little concrete canyons, but really our heart and soul is here.
So as a Catholic in our teachings from the very beginning, even from Genesis, we are called to be stewards of nature. And throughout our church history, tradition, and the popes, even Pope Francis, in his encyclical Laudato Si, he talks about the need for care of creation and our role and responsibility in that. So I would like to encourage all of you to take part in that, to know and understand and appreciate your role in taking care of all creation.
Nature is family to me, it's origins.
Nature brings us birds, bees, insects, things to eat, places to go, and offer us a solitude place where we can just go and be, where we can decompress, where we can recharge.
We're 49th out of 50 states, for having federal lands that individuals can go to. And so the fact that we have private property that we are making open to the public is really important to me and important to the trust. Individuals need to be able to take their children out onto land so that they can learn about nature up close and in person. It's different when someone sees something on a screen than if they encounter a frog in a creek while they're walking through it and they're getting muddy. They need to be able to see the importance of nature up close in person in order to really make an impact on their life. The greatest thing when you are interacting with kids in nature is that everything is new to them. Absolutely everything is new. And so you can be there the first time that they see a tree frog sticking to the side of a tree. You can be there the first time a bat flies overhead and it doesn't look like a bird, but they're not really sure what it is. You can be there the first time that they walk through a creek and they find an artifact that was deposited there from a Native American tribe thousands of years ago. So these are the great experiences that you can have with kids, and we're incredibly proud to say that we have amazing properties that you can have those experiences on with your children and with your grandchildren.
My mom and I used to make little fairy houses together outside, and we'd collect acorns and flowers and make little beds out of flower petals and big leaves and just play together, just using nature.
I want all of our kids to love our community, like everything that's around us. I think a lot of people here don't understand the amazing places that are, within 15 minutes of them. Places like this.
So our role is to try to protect as much land as possible and to get people energized about helping to protect biodiversity in the state of Iowa. Most of the habitat that was here thousands of years ago and that supported thousands of different species is no longer viable for those individuals to live in. As that happens, ecosystem can be imbalanced. If that ecosystem fails, it's not going to be a fun place to live for anybody. So within the state of Iowa, there are still pockets of land that are biological gems. They have high biodiversity, they have native species that you just do not find on too many places left in the state of Iowa. It is incredibly important for organizations, including Bur Oak Land Trust, to protect those.
I had never heard of a land trust until sometime after my first child was born, and I was exploring properties in the area trying to find different places to hike, and I was just really struck by the idea of a land trust. And maybe that was something that everyone else already knows about, but it wasn't for me. And I was just awed of what a great idea to find natural areas, to continue to maintain those natural areas, and to have the opportunity to let the public into those natural areas for free.
With Bur Oak, we got to come out to Turkey Creek. They did this whole amazing segment on bats and just taught us about them and why not to be afraid of them, and actually how much they influence our environment and why they're really important and why we need to protect them, the anatomy of them, what they eat, how they work. They eat up to 6,000 mosquitoes a night, which the kids and myself were amazed by.
So we're not just protecting land, but we're also doing a lot of stewardship. We're really managing the land, we're making it more usable, we're making it more accessible for people to go out and enjoy the property. It's not just about keeping land from getting developed, it's about making land so that people can actually access it, use it, and enjoy it.
I can take the same trail 5 days in a row at Big Grove Preserve and see something new each time I go. That and the fact that the Bur Oak Land Trust staff really seem to grasp what it means to manage a property correctly.
To listen to birds, hear the bees, watch the butterfly migrate, catch the fish, stomp in the creek, run barefoot in the grass. All of this just simple but joyous thing that we get to do because of the work that Bur Oak Land Trust do.
A single person can pollute. A single person can destroy habitat. A single person can have a lot of negative consequences to this planet. On the flip side, a single person absolutely has the ability to be a positive impact on the environment.
Every time I look out the window and see all that green, I swear to you, my blood pressure goes down. We want everyone to be able to have land around them where they're able to go have these kinds of experiences too. which is why organizations like the Bur Oak Land Trust are so important. So I hope you're going to support them. I hope you're already a supporter. And keep in mind that you can support them more, right? Every little bit more counts, and every little bit more says how much more you support them. So if you can add to your contribution this year, all the better. Then they're able to do more work and preserve more land for everybody in the state. Make sure that it stays accessible and stays natural forever.
It's my privilege to present the 2021 Conservation Award to ERIKA Billerbeck. ERIKA has served the people of the state of Iowa as a conservation officer for the Department of Natural Resources for 21 years, protecting the natural places in Iowa, the species that utilize that habitat, and the people that enjoy those places. ERIKA started a Wild Things after-school program for young people to get out into nature and learn about nature. And most recently, ERIKA has published her first book, Wildland Sentinel, and it is stories from her time in the field. It is my great pleasure and privilege to present to her the 2021 Conservation Award. Congratulations, ERIKA.
As a person in law enforcement, sometimes our job is a little bit thankless. Just the recognition is really motivating for me, and very much thank you.
Bur Oak Land Trust is proud to present Lon Drake with our first ever Lifetime Conservation Award. Lon has been a professor at the university for a number of decades, as well as a consultant to various municipalities and agencies in the area. Lon has been a part of numerous projects, including Seed in the Prairie that you see behind me over 40 years ago. I was very fortunate to be one of Lon's students. The lessons that Lon taught me then have stuck with me for over 20 years. Lon has been a fantastic mentor to me during that time, and I'm very proud to present this award to you today.
It's been a real pleasure working with Bur Oak. They now are involved in so many projects, I can't even keep track of them all.
And my grandpa's Lon Drake. He is the reason that I love nature so much and taking pictures of nature. And just seeing how much he loves it makes me love it that much more. Congratulations, Grandpa.
Hi, Grandpa. Thank you for teaching us all about nature, and you've always been a good role model to me.
Congratulations, Grandpa. Whenever I'm curious about nature, I can ask you, and I really like your stories.
Hi! Congratulations, Pap, on your award. We're so thankful that we have a grandpa to teach us all about nature. Our favorite memories of you are when we went on so many nature walks and you showed us and taught us about your gardens, and when you taught us how to open a coconut. We love you.
We love you.
Bye. Congratulations.
Hi, Grandpa. Congratulations on your award. I know you inspired a lot of people over the years, including myself, becoming an environmental engineer. Again, congratulations.
Hi, Grandpa. Thank you for teaching me about nature and telling us stories.
Hi, I'm Lori. I'm Lon's fourth grandkid. My grandpa has always inspired us kids to love nature. He always liked to talk to us about his projects. I personally just loved learning from him. I loved asking him questions, and there was never ever a question that he could not answer. When I was around 10, I helped him with his pawpaw tree project, and we grew them from little tiny seeds up until they were almost trees, and then planted them on his property, and I even planted a few on my parents' property. And to this day, that is one of my all-time favorite 4-H projects that I've ever done. I hope someday that I can keep the mission going and plant these trees on my own property. He also inspired a friend and I to take the Iowa Master Naturalist course, and we both became certified. One thing my grandpa is really good at is inspiring people to go into conservation and just love nature. He has passed on a legacy of conservation to not just his family, but everyone he's ever met. I am so honored that he is my grandpa, and I am so glad that he got this award.